Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Jerry. Welcome to my channel. This is my first video I'll be making of many videos. This video is nothing but NBA talk. The reason I decided to make this video for several reasons, but a couple I'll start off with is a lot of people have been asking me to do this. I have a lot of friends all over the country that know a lot about basketball and things like that, and we talk and have our little debates and things like that about the NBA. So what I decided to do is go online with YouTube and try to help spread my knowledge, and also learn a little bit from everybody else out there around the world. So I have a lot of things I'll be talking about over the next couple of weeks, because obviously it's the playoffs. A little bit about me. I'm in my mid 30s. I've been watching NBA basketball since the 80s. I was a big Michael Jordan fan growing up, and right now my favorite player is LeBron James. um, so obviously I'm pretty disappointed about the outcome. So what can I do? It's been 2 days since it happened. I really expected us. I expected us to give Orlando Magic a run for their money. I didn't know if we were going to beat Orlando, but I did not expect us to lose to Boston coming into the playoffs. But Boston obviously was the better team. After I watched Game 1 and then I watched Game 2, I knew that Boston was the better team, and I want to just congratulate them. They had an excellent game plan. They did a great job. I was going to make a video about why we lost to them. Um, I'm not going to make a full video about that. I'll touch on that in this video. But what this video is going to be about, I'm going to compare my two favorite players, Michael Jordan and LeBron James. A lot of people have been doing that, so I'm going to compare a little bit of their careers as far as their first 7 seasons up to this point, because LeBron James, ever since he's been in high school, has been compared to Michael Jordan. Is it fair or unfair? I don't know. But I'm here to let everybody know that LeBron James is definitely the best player in the world, in my opinion. A lot of people will think it's Kobe Bryant, um, and that's a debate we can talk about. We can do comparisons too. I feel like LeBron James has a chance to go down as the greatest basketball player in NBA history if he works hard at it. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare, first I'm going to compare the first 7 seasons of LeBron James and Michael Jordan, and then pass to do that. So let's get started. Michael Jordan came in the NBA in 1984. He was a 21-year-old rookie. He played for the University of North Carolina for 3 years. He decided to skip his senior season so that he can forego that to go to the NBA. A lot of people knew he was good, but they didn't know he was that good. So he wasn't a highly touted college player. Now, he did win awards. He won the college NCAA, NC2A championship in his freshman year, and he also led the ACC in scoring, and he won multiple National Player of the Year awards. So, I mean, he wasn't a slouch by no means, but nobody thought he was going to be the way he is now. So, for his career, LeBron James is a little different. LeBron James, ever since he's been in the 9th grade, has been highly touted as a high school phenom. He was being compared to Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson growing up, because he played like both of them. I mean, he was a guy that was 6'8" and 240 pounds as a senior in high school. I mean, this guy was literally in the 12th grade of high school. He was an NBA player playing in high school. So, they show his highlights when he was playing for St. Vincent St. Mary's his final year. They show his highlights before they show the NBA highlights on SportsCenter. So he came out with a lot of hype. Michael Jordan's rookie year, he came out with a storm. Not only did he win the Rookie of the Year, but he led all rookies in scoring. He, led the Bulls to a pretty good record. I mean, he was the 3rd pick in the NBA draft at the time, and a lot of people are wondering why he was the 3rd pick. I'm going to tell you why he was the 3rd pick. At the time, the Houston Rockets had the #1 pick, and the Portland Trailblazers had the #2 pick. So with the #1 pick, now obviously back in those days, even today, when you have a center coming out of college, and he's a dominant center as Akeem Olajuwon with an A at the time. He wasn't Hakeem, he was Akeem. He was coming out of University of Houston, great center. You can't lose with him. I'm not mad at Houston for picking him. Sam Bowie came out. A lot of people may not know him. I'm dating myself here. But Sam Bowie was a #2 pick from Portland. Now, the reason why Portland picked Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan at that time is because Michael Jordan was a shooting guard slash small forward, and they had a guy by the name of Clyde Drexler on the Portland Trailblazers roster at the time. So, not saying, Clyde Drexler wasn't a good player, but Portland had to do that again. I think they would change their pick. Now, when LeBron James came out of high school, it wasn't even a question whether or not he was going to be the number one pick. Everybody knew he was going to be the number one pick. It wasn't a question. So it was all about who was going to win the NBA lottery. A lot of people thought that year that teams were tanking games and losing games just to get LeBron James on the roster. So the comparisons already came fast and in a hurry with Michael Jordan. He wore number 23 in honor of Michael Jordan. But to me, he played a bit of Magic and Michael Jordan, because like Michael Jordan and Magic, because he not only could score, but he can pass like almost like Magic Johnson. I'm not going to say he's going to pass as good as Magic Johnson, because I believe Magic Johnson is the greatest passer of all time, the greatest point guard of all time. But the vision the young man had, LeBron James had, you can see it in high school, that he was a very, very, very gifted athlete. And he had physical gifts and physical skills that we have never seen in the NBA, as far as a combination of all the different powers, speed, and all the different things that he had. So what happened with LeBron James was he came in with a big, big, big hype. I mean, no athlete, I'm not even talking about NBA, athletes period, came in the NBA with such hype with him. So his first 2 years he didn't make the playoffs. He struggled a little bit, and then they fired their coach Paul Silas, and they hired Mike Brown, which I'll get into that a little later. But Paul Silas, he just didn't cut it the first 2 years. And remember, when you're the number one draft pick, you go to the worst team in the NBA. That's just how it is. So Mike Brown came in, coming in from the lineage of Greg Popovich with San Antonio, won a championship over there as assistant coach. Danny Ferry's a new GM for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they said, hey, I hired Mike Brown. Maybe we can make our organization a bit like the Spurs. So that's what they did. So that didn't work out too good as far as championship wise. So the first year he went to the playoffs in 2006. The first game he had a triple double. LeBron James did. They got knocked out of the playoffs eventually by the Pistons. He's had some successes in the playoffs. Went to the finals in 2007. Was kind of watered down that year in the East because the Cleveland Cavaliers had to play the New Jersey Nets, which wasn't that good at the time. They had to play the Washington Wizards. If you remember that year, in 2007, Caron Butler and Gilbert Arenas was hurt. And then the Detroit Pistons, they were kind of getting old and they were kind of breaking up, and then they won. They beat the Pistons. But hey, they did what they did. They beat them. But when they got in the finals against the Spurs, they got exposed. I mean, they got totally exposed. No offense. Greg Popovich loaded up all his defense on LeBron James, and eventually the Cleveland Cavaliers got swept. Michael Jordan took a little bit of a different route. Like I said, his rookie year he came out blazing. He took the NBA by storm, won the Rookie of the Year, as did LeBron James. But Michael Jordan won it by a landslide, even with Akeem Olajuwon in the NBA. Nobody knew that Michael Jordan was going to come out like this. I mean, he came out of college on fire, because his game is more built to the NBA versus college, because in North Carolina, the old saying says the only person that can stop Michael Jordan was Dean Smith. And Dean Smith, his system was built on playing team ball, not one-on-one and stuff like that. But Michael Jordan is arguably the greatest one-on-one player of all time. Michael Jordan's second year, he got hurt his third game into the season, broke his foot, and missed a ton of games. He missed 60-something games, and so he wasn't supposed to come back. He didn't, the GMs didn't want him to come back. They said, listen, we'll shut it down. We're not going to win a championship this year. We'll shut it down. But Michael Jordan was so passionate about playing, he said, I want to play. So they limited his minutes to 7 minutes each half of that second year. For like the last maybe few games, I don't know how many games it was, and then they went to the playoffs. In that first year, in the second year, on that first round of the playoffs, he met up with the mighty Boston Celtics, who was led by Larry Bird, and that's when Michael Jordan had his career, playoff record and career high in the playoffs of 63 points in Game 2 in Boston Garden against the Boston Celtics. Now this is the team that went on to win the NBA championship, folks. Okay, he scored 63 points in the second game of Game 2. Game 1, he scored 49 points. A lot of people don't know that. So